Hello, greetings, salutations, good evening, or something from, Into Class Wrestling Podcast land. We are excited. We got TNA and then a little bit later on we're doing Ring of Honor, so it's going to be fun. So we got the review for not the 2nd of March, because I got it was the 27th of February. We're close enough. I'll change it in a second. So we got we got a title match tonight. That was the main gist of the show, and you kind of feel that by what was going down in the show. So talking TNA Impact Wrestling, if you don't know, if you're confused or something. So video package on the Gauntlet, what went down in the Gauntlet, how it played out, and stuff like that. So just one of those video packages, I guess you could say. Any thoughts on the video package before we get to the Angle promo?
No.
Not
No?
really. I mean, it's pretty much one of their normal video packages.
Yep. All right. So we got an Angle promo. He says, "I'm gonna call out one man," and he says, "I'm gonna call out the World Heavyweight Champion Lashley." He says, "Lashley, get out here." I don't know where Kurt Angle come off the man and stuff all the time, but he don't care. He's the Olympic hero and stuff, so he gonna tell Lashley to get out here. He says, when Lashley comes out, he says, "I'm not asking you to like or respect me, but you gotta respect that title." He says, "One last shot at the title. That's what I came back for, but I got screwed." Lashley says, "That was your fight, Kurt." Angle says, "I'm all for a fair fight, and I want to fight you." Crowd popped a little bit there. Lashley comes back and he says, "That's my." After Kurt talked about him helping him and how he's not gonna help him, and Angle said, "Well, Lashley says that was my fight, Kurt. I don't need your help." So Lashley living up to the Destroy Your Name. Angle says, "Tonight I'm gonna do exactly what you did to me. Absolutely nothing. Good luck, champ." BDC comes out. They get "You Sold Out" chance. It was just weird to me that Kurt Angle and the whole BDC walk by each other, but the BDC doesn't beat Kurt Angle down. Interesting to me. But Joe cuts a promo, and I cried just a little bit because. But anyway, Joe cuts a promo and he says, "These men are the reason you are champ." Talking about the BDC, he says the MVP of the BDC will beat you down until he is champion of the world. I love the way he coined that, champion of the world. MVP says, "We are a collective unit like the four fingers on this fist that are going to punch you in the face. You stand alone. That title will come back to us. Everyone around the world will call us champ." Champ. So, you know, promo kind of setting up, I guess, a future Angle Lashley match at some point, and setting up the title match for tonight. So, Justin, any thoughts on the Angle promo?
It was actually pretty good. I think his Angle's coming off as a whiner a little bit, in my opinion. For him asking for a title match since he lost it last week. But I mean, this set up for later on tonight. With Angle and not Angle. What the fuck? Lashley and MVP. So yeah.
Casey, thoughts on the promo?
Nothing really. I mean, I liked when the BDC came out, especially with Joe on the mic. Joe is really good on the mic, so it's always good when they give him the mic, give him a chance to talk. MVP, for any soccer/football fans, he made another Manchester United reference in there. So um, I'll give it to him. He is smart about where he goes. He knows, fans different places. He knows how to rile different fans in different places. So I'll give him that. I don't necessarily really like his in-ring um, anymore. And he does get kind of annoying on the mic now and again. But I'll give him the props that he does know how to, he's aware of where he is. So, um, that's really all for this promo. It wasn't really anything too spectacular, but
Speaking of spectacular, we got Mr. Anderson and Rockstar Spud going up against EC3 and Tyrus. Tyrus comes out and Anderson's kind of pointing at him because he knows they shaved his mohawk last week, and he's kind of pointing at him because he's got the beanie on, and he wants him to reveal the head. He reveals the bald head, and obviously little children and women scream in fear at this point. Anderson takes control when we get to the match. He takes control, tags in Spud. Spud lays in the punches, but he's overpowered by Tyrus because Tyrus is a big man compared to Spud. He's not as big of a man, but pretty close, obviously. EC3 comes in with the Clippers, but he gets those taken away. Um, Anderson comes in with the hot tag, beats down Tyrus. We want Spud chance as Tyrus starts to take control. They start to isolate Anderson in their corner. Spud with a hot tag and a nice shining wizard. Spud hits what they're calling the underdog now on Tyrus. And then as the referee's back is turned, Anderson hits a low blow into a mic check. Spud gets the pin for the win. And post-match, because it wasn't really much, Spud and Anderson corner EC3 with the Clippers, but Tyrus obviously comes in to save the day. So, any thoughts on the tag team match, our first match of the night?
Yeah,
Casey? Never mind, Casey's not muted. Justin first.
yeah, this was a pretty good match. I mean, I like the comedy that Rockstar Spud and Mr. Anderson do. They're pretty funny. I like when Rockstar Spud got in there laying up punches on Tyrus in the corner, but like you said, he overpowered him, and pretty much Mr. Anderson, dominated this whole match when he was in there, and I like that low blow he did, and when he did the mic check, and I like after the match when they cornered EC3, and I really wanted them to shave the head of EC3, but didn't get it.
Come on, man. You can't be wanting the shaved head of EC3. You know how bad that's going to look? EC3 has had hair all his career, man. Come on.
You're going to get that buzzed off.
Casey, thoughts on the first match of the night?
First of all, this not to do with the match, but in general, I've noticed some of the camera angles, and I don't know if this is again just from them changing from to Destination America, but it seems like some of the camera angles are cut too soon or kind of cut weird, like they're in the truck or something, like wanting to cut to something, but it goes too soon or something. I've just noticed a couple camera angles like that where it was like, did they mean to cut to that scene or did they mean to cut to that angle? But again, maybe I'm just nitpicky because I don't know. I miss old TNA, back when we didn't have all the big production and everything. But I really liked Spud and Anderson in this match. I thought they worked really well together. Surprisingly, I didn't think they would team together as well as they did. My only issue is, where's Mandrews? Where's my boy? Where's my boy? Where's my boy Mandrews at? Where you at, though? Where you at, though? Justin, where is he?
I don't know. He's under my bed.
Oh.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, he's under my bed. He's sleeping.
Oh. Okay.
You couldn't even give the man a real bed. Come on, man.
Yeah, I don't have enough beds, man. Why are we talking about beds? This is supposed to be DNA. This changed the show to call Beds.
That's because you said he's under your bed, which was weird. But speaking of weird, not really weird, but just a good segue, I guess. We got a video package on Money, Power, Respect. Back when they were, the Kenny King, MVP, and Lashley scene. Back when they were running things and stuff. And basically, it kind of showed Lashley's title run. It showed when they first came together, and it showed kind of their title run. I can't remember if this was the time when I noticed this, but I noticed that like in some of these older video packages, MVP looked like a completely different person for some reason. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but like I know he's gotten older, over the past like couple of months, but like he just looked like a totally different person in some of the video packages. But after that, we got EC3 backstage. He is not happy. He is fed up. He says, "I'm gonna shave Rockstar Spud's hair." That was the main gist of the backstage segment. So, any thoughts on the video package or the EC3? You know, demon backstage, Casey.
No, EC3 is just an angry man, and maybe he needs his head shaved. Maybe he's just holding too much stress in his hair, and he needs to shave that head. Start new. He needs to calm down. He needs to hug Bailey, and that's it. That's what he needs to do.
Well,
Justin,
I
thoughts?
actually like the video package because, well, it was on May 15th, and May 15th is my birthday. And also, saw when they came together, people who wasn't watching TNA at that time, you could see when they came together. And I liked the EC3 and Spud backstage, and I wanted them to shave the head off. But Mr. Anderson came back there to save Spud, and then Tyrus came to show back up and save EC3.
Shave the head off. You're getting hostile over there. You want to just take the guillotine the man. Settle down, Justin. You got people living under your bed. You got head shaving and such, head cutting off. Come on, settle down. But
Shave the head off.
next we got, huh?
I said shave
What's
the
that?
head off.
Don't do that. That's me. That's me. But next we got, the beautiful Taryn Terrell, the Knockouts champion. And she says, if you want this title, come try and get it right now. She's talking to Awesome Kong, I'm pretty sure. Gail Kim comes out, because, Gail Kim, obviously she's the woman of the Knockout division. She comes out and she says, Kong is too tough for you, girl. Basically, I didn't catch all of it, but in my terms, that's what I would say if I was Gail Kim. She says, look at what Awesome Kong did to have it. Are you sure you want to do this? And Terrell comes back and she says, I need to fight Kong. And then Terrell, Kong comes out, or appears, or whatever she does when she comes out, and Terrell's trying to be aggressive with her, but it's just not happening. She gets hit with an implant buster. Kong raises the title, and I take it we're going to get a title match sometime soon. But still don't know where Havoc is. Havoc is like gone or something. Not too sure. So any thoughts on the Terrell promo, Justin?
Yeah, I like that she wanted to fight Awesome Kong. I didn't expect Gail Kim to come out. And one thing I have to say on that, they are all women, DJ. They're all women. They're not divas. But I like when Awesome Kong came out, gave her the implant buster, pretty much saying, hey, I want that Knockouts Championship back. So, yeah. Which she's going to get it back. She's going to get it back.
All right, Casey, any thoughts?
It was okay. Taryn Terrell is okay on the mic. I've noticed. I'd like to see more promos from her. But they need to build up their women's division again, the Knockouts division. There's just not enough there to keep me interested right now. But I guess we're getting. What?
You're just missing Brittany. You're missing Brittany. That's the issue. My girl.
I don't think it's Brittany. I don't know. No, it's not. It's not Brittany. No. It's the division in general.
So Brittany, she was the division. Come on. You see?
No. One knockout.
Velvet Sky?
Division make.
Well, she ain't even there anymore. No, it is Angeline Love.
Oh,
All right, so um, I guess no one. Justin, did I get your thoughts?
Yeah, you did.
All right, after I got on my tangent, I forgot. Yeah, Brittany on the mind. It just gets me confused sometimes. So we're backstage with the BDC, and they say we shocked the world. Basically, MVP says we shocked the world. We got a plan to bring the title home. Catches the cameraman, but that man slash woman is not gonna stay in there because this is a private meeting with the BDC, and they bring the cameraman out. Then we get a video package on the BDC formation and their turn on Lashley. So, any thoughts on this, Justin?
Yeah, I liked when the BDC were backstage, when they found the camera and pretty much saying, you know, that they're pretty much strategizing how they're going to beat Lashley and bring the title home to the BDC. It's pretty much it is. And what was their segment you just said? Because you just got me confused.
It was the video package.
It was the what package?
The video package on the BDC formation and Lashley when they turned on Lashley.
No, I don't really have much on that.
All right, Casey, thoughts on those two things?
oh, what two things?
Uh,
On the backstage with the BDC and the video package on when the BDC formed and how they turned on the champ.
Uh, honestly, at this point, I'm just waiting to see how they write off Joe. That's really all I care about anymore.
that's
Is
good.
because they have to do it next week because I know TNA is pre-recorded, and well, we'll get to in the next review what's going on with that. But I'm just curious how they're gonna write him off. I hope they just don't let it I hope they write him off somehow. They don't just oh, Joe's gone. You know.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how they're going to do that too. So after that, we get an Austin Aries interview. The interviewer asks a question. I guess it was the cameraman. He says, "What you think about the main event?" Austin Aries says, "I like a little twist, a little turn." He says, "But I have the perfect ending to tonight's show." Teasing the cash in again, holding up the case as he walks away. So any thoughts on the Aries interview? Do you think he's gonna cash in? Did you think he's gonna cash in? I didn't think he was gonna cash in. But any thoughts, Casey?
I feel like anytime anyone teases a cash in, I immediately don't believe it because I know it's not gonna happen. They always cash in when you least expect it, when they don't tease it. So
It's
anytime
unpredictable.
it's they're not gonna do it. So
Yeah, yeah, they always cash in when you forget they have the case.
yeah,
But Justin, the teaser.
Yeah, I like this. I wasn't expecting them to cash in because, like you said, Casey, you expect them to cash in at the most unpredictable time. And I like when he said he was going to go get his work clothes on. I like when he said that. I always like seeing Austin Aries on my TV. He is my man there in TNA. He's my man. I like him. So, yeah.
Yeah, Austin Aries is the man. I'd say so.
He's the greatest man that ever lived.
Yeah, he said that a couple of times. But after that, we get Robbie E. Boom! Robbie E. and Angelina Love going up against Brooke and Chris Melendez. Nice to see Chris Melendez back in the ring again. Robbie E. attacks from behind, but Melendez comes back. Robbie E. tags out. Then he tags back in, kind of playing around with Brooke at this point. Angelina Love takes advantage of the Robbie E. shenanigans. Then Brooke comes back with a drop kick. Robbie knocks Brooke off the turnbuckle and then takes the pin for the win. So Robbie E over Brooke Tessmacher for the win for this match. So interesting. Casey, thoughts on the intergender match?
Uh, I just I felt like I couldn't take this match seriously. It seemed too kind of goofy and like it didn't seem like a serious match, you know. And plus, it's still that storyline that really doesn't make sense unless you watch like The Amazing Race. You know, it's kind of they let it go and then they bring it back and then they. And what does Chris Melendez have to do with Robbie E or Angelina or Brooke? What? Yeah, I don't know.
All right, Justin, thoughts on the tag team match?
Well, I'm confused about this match because Chris Melendez, what the hell is he doing tagging up with Brooke? And, what the heck with the finish? Also, this was
Yeah,
just
she got the booty dough.
yeah, she does have the booty. Hey, don't. Yeah, but what the hell with the finish, man? This weird finish. I really wasn't into this. I just couldn't get into this. Pretty much just when I took my piss break, though.
Hey, language, there's kids.
This is TV 14.
You say PP.
Okay, I had to go take my pee pee.
All right, so next we got EC3 trying to roll up on Spud with the Clippers. It goes to commercial, I'm pretty sure, after that, and Anderson, when it comes back, Anderson comes in to save the day. Um, I think they got a lock of EC3's hair, um, and they kind of showed it to EC3, and then Tyrus comes in to invade. Any thoughts on that? EC3 and Spud continuation?
I didn't like it just the way it was set up. It was like it made sense that Anderson was, frantically looking for, Spud to help him out. Like he knew what was going on. But then it was like Tyrus came in almost like he was just hanging outside the door. Like it seemed like he just happened to be there. Like it just didn't seem right to me. And I don't I don't know where they're going with this feud. If it's just a hair versus hair match, TNA, get your own ideas. Don't piggyback from
Other
early
companies.
2000s WWE. Like,
Hey, we're not supposed to be saying that show on here.
they say it.
Show. Well, we're not them.
I'll say whatever the hell I want. WWE, Ring of Honor, TNA, WCW.
EC3. All right, Justin, any thoughts?
Well, I don't have really too much on this. I didn't realize this. Like you said with Tyrus, it feels like he was just waiting outside the door, kind of. He just shows up randomly, and Mr. Anderson, like he showed up. Like he was really frantically looking for him, but nothing too special here. I don't really understand what they're going with this, but who knows? It could lead to a hair versus hair match, like you said, Casey. Which hopefully it doesn't. Like, TNA needs to come up with their own ideas, like I said, also.
All right, so next we got Gunner backstage. He's talking to Kurt Angle. He says, "What are you doing, man? If MVP wins, it's going to be bad. Take control of the situation, Kurt." He's really kind of upset because I think it's kind of coming back full circle a little bit where Kurt kind of helped him get out of his funk, and now he's trying to help Kurt get out of his funk. It seems like so. Any thoughts on the backstage segment with Gunner and Kurt?
Nope.
Yes.
Justin. Justin.
I was muted and gone. He must have had to go, to the resting room. We'll get back to it. Maybe he won't. He probably didn't really care about it. So.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh, okay. What do you think about the Gunner backstage segment with Kurt Angle? Any thoughts?
It's just pretty much trying to get Kurt Angle out of his funk he was in from, like how Gunner was in that funk earlier. Now Gunner's getting Kurt Angle all of that. So nothing too special. Pretty much saying, hey, you need to get your head in the game, or else MVP is gonna walk out with a championship, and it's gonna be hell's gonna break loose. Pretty much that's what he said. Also, and we slapped him. And yeah.
All right, so next we got an Austin Aries promo. The fans chant Aries, Aries, like they always do, and he says, "I got a first name too." Aries just, I don't know what it is. He comes off like a heel, like the majority of these, like the last couple of weeks. He's like just being really heelish with the fans. Like I know he's being sarcastic, but it's like they're chanting your name. At least you're getting that, you know. But I don't know. It was just weird. It's just weird the way he's been acting with the fans. He says, "I have a first name too." He says, "This is a big night because of the World Heavyweight Championship match. A lot of speculation is going on about who's going to get involved. In my hand, talking about the case, I have all the power. I don't need the politics." He says, "What if I decide to use this tonight, just at the right moment?" And the last thing you hear, and now here is your new, World Heavyweight Champion. And Samoa Joe comes out. Joe says, "Do you really think there's a possibility of you cashing in tonight?" And he says, "What happened to the Joe I used to know?" He's talking about MVP. He says, do you rub his feet a little bit, or what's going on with y'all's relationship there? Joe says, "You know nothing about me, and you know nothing about loyalty. How about I come in that ring and snap your neck myself?" Harry says, "Do you want to come in this ring and you want to fight me?" He says, "I might just take it to you." And he suicide dives on Joe to basically get some sort of a match started here. So, any thoughts on the Austin Aries promo before we get to the match? I really don't think it was needed because Aries just talked about the case in the backstage thing. So I don't really know what was the use of him coming back in and reinforcing the fact that he's got the case and he could cash it in whenever. He just talked about this like a couple of minutes ago. Why do we need this? So, Justin, any thoughts on the
No,
Aries
not
promo?
much. Well, there's actually one thing I want to add. This night there was too much promos on this show, in my opinion, which I didn't really like that. And the show pretty much revolved around the Beatdown Clan.
All right. Casey, any thoughts?
Not really. I think they are building up to, somehow writing Joe off because he was on the mic a lot tonight. It seemed like a lot of the focus was on him. So, but besides that, I mean, it wasn't anything special about the promo, really. It wasn't really necessary, but
Yeah, I agree. I didn't think it was necessary. But it did set up a match. We got Samoa Joe versus Austin Aries. Aries takes control with his speed, but Joe comes back with a reverse powerbomb onto the ropes. Joe starts to be aggressive on the outside. Joe hits the big boots in time, combo for a near fall. Aries, as they're on the top, he's going for the muscle buster. Aries boxes the ears to try and come back. He outquicks Joe, and Joe falls to the outside. Aries with the double axe handle out to the outside. We're going to get a brainbuster attempt, reverse into a muscle buster attempt, which is then reversed into to multiple discus forearm roll up by Aries for a near fall. Then he locks in the last chancery. King comes out and distracts, and then Joe locks in the rear naked choke. Aries gets out of that and somehow comes in and hits the 450 splash for the win. Aries actually gets the win here in this match, even though the BTC was pretty much everywhere in this match. So then the BDC come back in. They beat down Aries. Get a Warriors Way onto the table. As Joe gets the tables, we get a Warriors Way on the table, but the table didn't break. and Joe hits the running senton through the table. Um, Joe with the leaping skill. He must have had his J's on tonight or something. He had the leaping skill going tonight, going through that table. So any thoughts on the Joe versus Aries match, Casey?
Not really. I didn't. I felt like we just saw Aries versus Joe not too long ago, but I didn't write too much about this match just because it's always a good match when Aries and Joe have a match. So I mean, but at the same time, there's only so much you can do with the same person. So it's kind of like it's like seeing The Rock versus Austin for like the 13th time. You're gonna get bored with it. Even though they're two awesome in-ring performers. There's just so much they can. There's only so much, at least in TNA, that they can do together. I feel like if Aries left and went to Ring of Honor 2 and they had matches there, they would have even better matches. But as far as in TNA, we've seen it so many times that it's kind of eh. But I like the after the match, the Warriors way through the table that didn't break the table. Those TNA tables, I don't know where they get them, but they need to get a different buyer because those things don't break.
When I was watching that, I was like, I bet you Casey's gonna say something about that. I was watching with Ryan, and I was like, I bet you Casey's gonna say something about that. But Justin, thoughts on the match?
Yeah, this was a pretty good match. I mean, we saw this like for I don't know how much times we saw this, maybe the millionth time, I don't know. But this was our match. I like when Austin Aries did the crucifix. I like when they do that move. It's a really good move. I like when he went for the um Joe went for the muscle buster. I also like Austin Aries 450 splash. I mean, we saw it a lot of times, but very high paced match, fun match. But like I said, we saw this a lot of times, and I'm happy my boy Austin Aries won this match though. And I like at the end of the match, when they brought out the table with the Warriors way with Loki when the table didn't break. I thought that was funny. I thought that was really funny. But I agree with you, kids. They need to go find a new buyer for the tables because, geez, those tables aren't easy to break.
I think they're made from the same manufacturer of the announce tables that WWE has.
Oh yeah, those tables are even harder to break.
I mean, that is craftsmanship right there.
Well, don't you think it gives a little bit more to the move though if it doesn't break?
Or
I
should it
mean,
break?
I guess, but
I like when it breaks because, like, botched table.
it seems more devastating when it actually breaks, even though it
That's
actually
what I was
would
about to
be
say.
less. You know.
All right, so after that we got Lashley interview because Lashley's getting ready for his match later on in the night. They say the interview guy says, "What do you think of your chances tonight, MVP?" He says, "MVP's telling everyone he made me. If he wants his belt, he's got to go through me." They say, "What about Kurt Angle?" He says, "I didn't ask for his help, and I don't need his help." So Lashley looking pretty strong there, just making Lashley look like kind of the destroyer that he is. So any thoughts on the Lashley interview, Justin?
No, I'm not really about this.
All right, Casey.
Next.
All right. Next we got MVP and EY. They're backstage. MVP says, "We finally got even with Rude." EY says, "I still got a lot of evening to do, like trying to get even with him." MVP says, "Who was it that actually put you in the hospital?" And EY says, "Lashley." MVP says, "Well, the match is no DQ, um, so you could come in and get some revenge if you'd like, something like that." And EY comes back and he says, "I could do anything. I could do whatever I want." And EY walks away looking crazy. So I like this because with the crazy persona they're trying to give EY as far as being a heel goes, it makes sense that he would think that MVP can get in his head. It's kind of like that unstable type of gimmick, I guess, where MVP can easily get in his head. So, Casey, any thoughts on that?
No, just like you said, it's kind of the typical EY is not stable, so MVP takes the opportunity to kind of brainwash him and be able to kind of take advantage of his unstable state. We've seen it. It's cool to see it with EY, I guess, but I feel like we've just seen it so much in all of the companies. I mean, we've seen it in ECW, we've seen it in WCW, we've seen it in WWE. And to a point, you have to recycle things. You can't always think of something new just because so much has already been done in wrestling history. But I don't know. There's some things that it's like, okay, you've beaten it enough. Let's move on. Let's do something else, or at least change it up a little bit.
Yeah, no need to beat the dead horse.
Exactly. Why would you beat a dead horse? That's horrible.
I was had to bring that up there. But I don't really have too much on this. I pretty much Casey summed it up, what he said. So yeah.
All right. So next we got the BDC backstage with the case and MVP just saying I love it when a plan comes together. Um, remind me to say something about that later because I just had a thought during the title match. So remind me to not forget it because I didn't write it down. I take it y'all probably don't have any thoughts on that. So next we got some British boot camp guys going at it. I thought this was cool because it kind of gave everybody else a chance in British boot camp to kind of show what they had, even though it was kind of a setup for Graham. So Dar, Noam Dar's he was looking pretty fast, but Graham cares nothing about this match. Um, he just doesn't. He comes out with his music and he comes out and he just forearms everyone ever in life. He hits the what they're calling the brighter side of suffering now, which is the Impaler DDT on both men. Graham grabs the mic. He says, "Hey, Madness, doesn't this look familiar?" Can't do the British accent, so I'm gonna stop. He says, "You face down because you've been knocked out." He says, "Get out here now." Fredo, totally becoming my boy, comes out dancing with the fanny pack on. I was watching this with Ryan. I'm like, is that a fanny pack? Ryan's like, yep. I was like, all right. He comes out dancing with the fanny pack. He basically turns into the Rock on the turnbuckle and flips the fanny pack like like it's a belt. I was laughing really hard at that point. Constantly falling in love with Grado. He's such a likable guy. Well, Grado gets in there. He kind of gets the first shots. He starts to go for the flip flop and fly, but that gets reversed into the brighter side of suffering by Magnus. Graham grabs the mic again. He says, "Come on, Magnus, fight me!" So he's ready for Magnus. I don't know if Magnus is even ready for Graham at this point. But any thoughts on the? It wasn't even really a match. It was kind of just Graham doing
Pretty
whatever
much a
he
no
wanted to do.
contest.
Yeah. Justin, any thoughts on this?
Well, it's just to pretty much get Bram over, pretty much that he wants to fight Magnus. I like that Grado came out, man. He's becoming more over. I like Grado. He's pretty funny. I like when he had that fanny pack. He threw that out like he said. That was freaking hilarious. I lost my shit when that happened. Not literally, but it was funny. But Grado, he got beat down then, and yeah.
All right, Casey.
You guys are completely missing when Grado first came out before his match with the week before his match with Al Snow. He did the same thing with the fanny pack, you guys. You are not paying attention to details. He did it before. No, but I really like Grado. I I usually don't like the kind of goofy, fun-loving guys because they do them too much. But I like Grado. He seems like he's gonna be a fun guy.
He makes one to dance.
Yeah, he's gonna team up with Tyrus, and they're gonna make they're
Tons
gonna
of funk.
dance. They're gonna dance again.
Tons of funk.
No, you can't take that's been taken by WWE. It has to be pounds of funk. No. But I don't know. I was kind of disappointed Drew didn't come out, but then I realized, wait, no, he's gonna do something later. I knew he was gonna come out sometime, but it wasn't for this segment.
You liar! You didn't even expect that. You didn't expect that. Nope. Spoiler.
All right. So next we get a graphic that shows us that next week we're gonna have the Wolves versus the Revolution for the tag team title. Interesting, kind of exciting. I don't know. I'm just looking for some more tag teams at some point. Just because I know we got the Revolution, I know we got the Wolves, I know we got kind of the Hardys, with Jeff Hardy being hurt now, but I don't know. I'm just looking for some. Just they don't really have a huge roster, so I guess it's hard. But then again, still, I don't know. We'll figure it out though. Any thoughts on the Wolves versus the Revolution next week?
Well, I'm actually pretty excited to see that. Hopefully, the Wolves win that. They take the title off the Revolution, and also, there's also going to be a Knockouts title next week on the line.
Thanks, because I didn't write that down. So thank you. So there's always room for one more. Casey, thoughts?
That was pretty demanding, just telling me to give my thoughts. You don't tell me to give my anyway. I don't know. They need to build up the tag team division again. Because it's getting back to the same two teams going at it, and I don't know. But I'm excited for the match. Hopefully the Wolves do retain the title or win the titles back. Just because I still there's something that throws me off about James Storm and Abyss as the tag team champions. It just they work well together, but it just there's something about it that's like no.
All right, so we're to our main event of the evening. We got MVP versus the Destroyer Lashley for the World Heavyweight Championship in a no DQ match. I don't know when this match was determined to be no DQ. I just heard MVP say it, so I guess since there's no DOO, Director of Operations or whatever, since I guess there's just no do what you want. Justin, thoughts? You got something to say? Sorry.
Actually, I don't think this was a no DQ match because since something happened during the match, which I'm not gonna tell about that until yeah.
That's not what I was going for, but okay.
All right. Are you watching the podcast while we're doing the podcast?
I actually did that before.
Maybe.
I was getting those views.
Just watching himself talk. That's pretty
Yeah,
much
I
it.
am. So wait, what were we talking about? I wasn't talking, so I wasn't paying attention. What were we talking about?
I interrupted DJ. That's
The fact that the match was no DQ, the title match.
Oh yeah. Okay. They don't do much with no DQ anyway. Like, there might be a chair and a table. That's usually about it. There's not. It's not exciting like a no DQ match used to be.
I feel like they do more of no DQ matches when they're like designed to be no DQ matches. This match was just kind of thrown into a no DQ match just so the BDC could get involved because I thought MVP would win because of that. It seemed like it kind of go that way.
Well, since it was a no DQ, I want to say Blay.
And maybe MVP did win, but I don't want to spoil too much. So they're feeling each other out early on, but Lashley gets the first takedown. He takes advantage with brute strength. Um, Lashley looking to use some kicks, but MVP gets out of that. It was interesting to see Lashley start using kicks. I know he's an MMA fighter, so he has them in his arsenal, but you never really see him using when he's wrestling. Low-key gets involved, but he gets thrown out because Brian, I think it was Brian, it might have been Stifler. It was Stifler. Stifler is not having it. Get a snapmare front
Brian
kick.
has hair, Stifler doesn't.
Well,
Brian has hair, Stifler doesn't.
I know the difference. I just couldn't remember exactly which one. I knew it was one of the Bryans, okay? One of the Bryans were refereeing this match. I think both of the Bryans actually ended up refereeing this match. I can't remember. Anyway, but snapmare front kick by MVP for the near fall. Combo strikes by MVP. It ended up being a near fall, but Joe doesn't feel like MVP has this in control. He comes in, he gets involved. MVP starts to work the arm, throws Lashley out of the ring. King and Joe, as the referee is distracted, start to stomp Lashley. They roll Lashley in. He gets pinned. But that's not it either because Lashley's a tough man, obviously. So get a double clothesline. We're trying to figure out who's going to get up first because that's the person who has the advantage. So they trade strikes. Lashley gets the better. Lashley hits a big spine buster, trying to look like Triple H for the near fall. Player's boot off the off of Kenny King grabbing the leg of Lashley. Then he hits an exploder suplex into a Shining Wizard, but that's reversed to the spear, but the ref is down. EY comes out. He hits Lashley with a chair. If this was no DQ, I don't know why we need a ref bump. Now I'm not thinking about it, but EY comes out and hits Lashley with a chair because that's EY's thing. Rude comes out, which was surprising because we hadn't seen him in a while. We hadn't heard about him in a while. So Rude comes out and he evens the odds. We get a power slam on MVP, but the ref gets pulled out again. Joe comes in, but Gunner comes back in to basically be the cavalry here. Kenny King looks to splash, looks at get his splash on, but he gets caught by Lashley. MVP hits the playmaker, but still no ref. Ref comes in. We got another near fall. Drew McIntyre, whatever we're calling. Drew Galloway comes in with a big kick on MVP into the spear by Lashley for the win. There's a lot of people coming out. I think the whole roster might have came out. We might have even seen Tigre Uno at some point come out and do some things in this match. So it was an interesting match. I thought it was pretty good. I love the World Heavyweight Championship matches, the championship matches in general. I enjoy them. I'm interested to see if MVP is gonna win the title. You would think he's probably gonna win the title sometime in the near future. Also interested to see what they're gonna do with Brood. So I don't know. I'm just interested in that. So, any thoughts on the World Heavyweight Championship match, Casey?
It was an okay match. I'm just more excited to see what they're gonna do with Drew. Um, what exactly is going on with that because he's obviously gonna be in some sort of feud with the BDC. So I mean, yeah, that'll be exciting to see when they kind of more cement his spot on the roster, see what he's doing. Because now it's still kind of a gray area because he just comes in and helps out or whatever. It's not he hasn't said anything. There's been no promos or anything. So I'm excited just to see what they're gonna do with him.
All right, Justin, any thoughts?
Yeah, this was a pretty good match. I mean, it could have been better if there wasn't so much interferences in the match, but because the BDC they got involved too much in the match, and early on in the match, Loki got rejected from the match. I mean, he got taken. He had to go backstage. But this was a pretty good match. I like seeing Bobby Roode. We haven't saw him for a while. Which I was happy seeing him. I'm surprised to see what Drew Galloway is going to be doing in this feud with the BDC. I'm excited for next week. Actually, it's kind of got me ready for next week.
Yeah, and what I was gonna say, I just remembered it. I know the BBC had the case. Couldn't it, I know it wasn't technically theirs, but because they had possession of it, couldn't they have cashed it in if they wanted to, like to give MVP another chance? I was just curious about that. I knew they probably weren't going to do it, but I was just logically thinking, like, wouldn't that be a possibility if you have it? Yes, Jeff.
Yeah.
uh,
Yes, Justin.
okay, so finally, okay, one more thing I have to add on this. Like you
Fine.
said with that, like you said with that ref bump that happened, I don't think it was a no DQ match. I just don't think it was. I think it was just a regular match because they didn't need to have that ref bump if it was a no DQ match. I mean, it's a little something there.
But then again, it's TNA, and TNA doesn't remember what they booked right before the match. So they forget halfway through the match what kind of match it is. So, I mean,
That's true. Uh,
But yeah, that was your show. I thought it was pretty good. I do think looking back at my notes, it was very promo heavy. Just unnecessary promos. I feel like. I mean, promos are fine to have, but I feel like at times you can put different matches in there. I'm hoping to see more of these British boot camp guys. Um, I know Ryan. He had asked me. He was like, "Where's Mandrews?" He asked me with the British boot camp when they were in the ring. And I was like, he won. He doesn't count with the guys who lost. So so I was like, I don't know where Mandrews is. I hope he comes back though, because I like Mandrews. Him and Spud need that tag team going now. But guys, any final thoughts, shout outs, whatever you want to say, feel free to.
well, I'm Casey. I enjoy long walks on the beach, bubble bath. Oh, not that.
This is
Sorry.
Match.com or
Sorry, I thought that's what you were going for. No, but follow me on Twitter, and then I'll tell you, what I'm into. But follow me on Twitter and follow
you're
the
into
podcast,
wrestling.
and stay tuned for more fun wrestling stuff. 'Cause that's what we do. We talk about wrestling and stuff.
all right, Justin. You got any wrestling topics, or are you a fan of the long walks on the beach, or would you rather go on a nice run? I mean, whatever you want to say,
Well,
input
I
it.
like to go on a nice run every day in the snow. But okay, but let me get back to the wrestling. This was a decent show. I mean, you know, too much promos in my opinion, like I said, pretty much revolved around the BDC, like I said. But I'm pretty excited for next week. We're gonna have a triple threat number one contender match. Kurt Angle versus MVP versus who's the other?
Who's
Eric
that?
Young.
Oh, who's there again?
Which that's going to be a good match. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully, my boy Rue wins that match. And, I'm pretty excited for that knockouts match next week and the tag team match. And also, don't forget to go follow the podcast and go follow me on Twitter at the True JSB. And don't forget to subscribe to me, Juggernaut097 on YouTube. Again, I do, reviews for wrestling shows. I'm not going to tell you all the videos I do, but yeah.
All right. Um, yeah, be sure to check those guys out, especially the Juggernaut. Talk to Casey about his interest and such. Um, feel free to follow the podcast. It's on my left. Feel free to follow me. I'm on the right. Actually, I'm in the middle. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry the interview was late. Life gets in the way, or just stranded at random places gets in the way with no computer. So I'm gonna do better. Okay, I'm gonna do better for you guys because I love. I'm gonna quit crying because I don't want to get too emotional because. I got to see some emotion sometimes. But subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. That would be great. Comment if you have a good comment to talk about and say. Leave us a like if you like it. If you dislike it, tell us why, because we want to know. Ring of Honor review coming soon, so be on the lookout for that. See you guys later.